Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us on this glorious Friday, which is the end of Chaos Week. We've been talking about this terrible thing that all of us feel in our lives, chaos. And chaos, it comes to us in many faces in all aspects of our lives. And it is the antithesis to what we really most seek and most desire in our lives, and that is to find a sense of peace in our lives. We're not just wanting the absence of war. That is certainly a part of it. But we're wanting to find a centeredness, a correctness, a wholeness inside our minds and our hearts and our whole lives, which ultimately says to us that we are feeling like things are the way God expected and created them to be. Correct and on point. That's the desire I have. And I know that so many other people also are just craving, desperately craving that sense of peace. And as we said, the chaos, which is why we spent all week talking about it, the chaos out there is like preventative for us to arrive at that chaos. The chaos is preventative for us to arrive at that peace, right? It's a blocker. It's just like a monster that's in the way. And somehow we don't know how to overcome and conquer that chaos because, let's be candid, it's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. We can't escape it. So much so that I think many of us just kind of live in it and don't think any differently about it. And when we get consumed by this chaos all of the time, we start to wonder, like, all right, I'm in the chaos. I want the peace. How do I get out of here? And worse, can I get out of here? Is this just what I'm destined for? Is this my life? Am I always going to be like this? I mean, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the inner strength. I don't have the inner fortitude, the guts, the grittiness, the power to get out of this. And I doubt myself. And if you felt that, believe me, brother, you ain't alone, right? I feel it. We all feel it, right? That self-doubt of, do I have what it takes to overcome and conquer the chaos and find the peace that I so desperately want? There's a story. We've been talking about it this week. It comes to us from the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 14. And there is a story where Jesus has fed 5,000 people with, 5 fish and 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And then he sends his disciples in a boat. They go across the boat. They're walking on. Jesus comes to them in the middle of the night walking on the water. I'm sure you know this story. They don't know who it is. There's a total crazy chaotic storm going on around the boat, and they start to freak out, the apostles. And Jesus is like, simmer down, it's me. And Peter says, fine, Lord, if it is you, let me come to you on the water. Let me also walk on the water. You're doing this magical thing. Let me do the magic too. Let me find a way through the chaotic storm. And Jesus says, come on. I mean, that's how he did it, right? He did that. All right, so Peter gets out on the water, and he's walking towards Christ. It's an amazing thing, because he's looking at Jesus. So, like, imagine, we're not reading this literally. We're trying to understand what's going on here, that when Peter's focus was on Christ, Peter, which his name means rock, which is supposed to what? Sink. He's looking at Christ, he's conquering the chaos, and he's walking on water, right? Unbelievable. But then in verse 30, he saw the wind. And it says that he took his eyes off Christ. He saw the wind, meaning the storm, because like, how do you see wind? He saw the chaos in the world. And he became afraid, and he began to sink. And he cried out, Lord, save me. Right? Remember, he was looking at Jesus, and his life conquered the chaos. Took his eyes off the prize, looked at the chaos in itself, got consumed with it, probably felt that self-doubt with the fear, and down he goes. And then Jesus says to him something which you probably would expect the Lord to say. O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? Right? Like, Jesus is saying, bro, I'm walking on the water, right? And I ain't got stilts, and there's no, marionette strings holding me up. I'm Jesus. I'm walking on the water. And I let you do the same thing. When you focused on me, you did it. Took your eyes off, down you go. And so why did you doubt that? Why didn't you keep that faith? And really, as we try to, all of us, battle through those feelings of self-doubt, we've got to have faith, right? We've got to maintain this faith. And I'm going to be very specific, so stay with me. Don't switch channels yet, because I'm going to say something that may knock your socks off. Having faith is it is the antidote to that self-doubt, having faith not in Father Chris, because I'm nothing, having faith in Christ. But here's the specific way that we got to have that faith. It is not that we should run around like in many, softer Christian denominations speak like this. Just believe in Jesus and all will be fine. You all know that ain't the way it works, right? It's not about having faith in Jesus as some magician who will help you walk on water by snapping his fingers. That's not how it works. It's by having faith that Christ's way over the chaos of death into the peace of the empty tomb must also be your way through the chaos in your life to find the peace that you desire. See it? Let me say it again. It's not that we are having faith in Jesus the magician. That's an idol that you create in your mind and he's not real. Having faith in Christ's way, which is the cross. It is the crucifixional life. Trust it. It works. That's the message, right? Jesus' whole message in the Gospel of Matthew, which we're reading this text from, is the cross, baby. That's it. He says in chapter 4, my mind's racing, stay with me. Chapter 4, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, God's commandments. He says in chapter 26, when he's faced his crucifixion coming up in the Garden of Gethsemane, he says, Father, let this cup pass, nevertheless, not my will, but your will. He then goes to the cross and ends in an empty tomb. And on the cross, he crushes that monster of death. I mean, like, that's the whole message. It's not about Jesus the magician, the idol that you've created in your mind. It's about the cross of Christ. Trust it. Have faith in it. That's the message. So I come back to our topic about self-doubt. You want to get over it? You want to find strength in yourself? Don't trust yourself. Trust Christ. Don't trust your own power, though it's there and we're going to use it. Trust the power of the cross, the crucifixional life. You want to find the road to conquer chaos and find peace? It's called the way of the warrior saint. And that road is a road of the cross. Now, here's what we've got to add as the addendum to that. Believing in Christ, trusting in Christ, that his way works, living that crucifixional life is going to require more effort than you probably have ever put forth before, right? If you keep doing the same things if you keep doing the same things you've done, you're going to get what you've always got, right? That's somebody said that. It's a great saying. I wish I knew who. Love it. Keep doing the same stuff over and over. Don't expect a different result, right? You want to conquer the chaos now and find that peace? Bro, it's hard work, but it's cross work, which is hard, but effective. The work of Christ, the Christ-like life, the crucifixional life is difficult because you got to sacrifice your own ego and your own desires. But son of a gun, it works. I'm telling you, every time it works. It may work in ways you never even saw, but it works, right? If you want to find that self-doubt, don't have trust in your own way. Have trust in your strength and your willingness and your commitment and your dedication, but not your own way. Have trust in Christ's way. And then you put all of your strength and all of your energy and all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your blood and your sweat and your tears into executing that way. And when you do that, you are on the way of the warrior saint. And you are going to find that chaos is crushed under the weight of your power, really. And you will find yourself on the way towards attaining a semblance of peace in your life, which is what we all want anyways. To help you do that, because it ain't easy. I said that a minute ago. It's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes, even in my own life, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's chaos all around me too. I don't know how the hell to deal with it. What do I do? Well, here's what you do. 3 things. Very simple. Number 1, click this website, The Way of the Warrior Saint, at warriorsaints.org. Number 2, once you go there, you're going to scroll about halfway down the page and you're going to see a bunch of things there. Our book is there, which is fun. I think I have it here somewhere. I do. It's called The Way of the Warrior Saint, right? It's a very easy, readable book. So many people have read it. We thank all of you who have done so. You will also find in the middle of that page, The Way of the Warrior Saint, our online library, our database with teachings that help us become crucifixional men and women so that self-doubt, it can be set aside. And lastly, number 3, subscribe. It's $8. Very easy. Click the button. It says, get it here. It's pretty simple. Once you get it, you watch it. Take what you see, take what you learn, which is all from God himself, all from the gospel of Jesus Christ, and you immediately implement that into your life, right? And so you're going to find, I'm telling you, bro, if you trust me, you got to trust me, trust Jesus more than me, but like have a little bit of faith that Christ's way conquers. He showed us already that it conquered the chaos of death and ended the peace in the empty tomb, and he promises to give that same to you if you live the same life. You just got to trust it. We'll be back Sunday morning for Orthros and Divine Liturgy at 9 and 10 a.m. Mountain Time, respectively, and again next week to resume. Love you, beautiful people. Be safe. Have a great weekend, and as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.